That we are now live, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Right, good evening, councillors, ladies and gentlemen, for those who are watching, and the officers. Welcome to tonight's Planning Environment Services Committee. We are live on YouTube, so could you please mute if you haven't already done so. And to receive apologies, item 2, Matt.
Yeah, I've got apologies from Councillor Graham Johnson and Councillor Claire Wildey.
Thank you. Item 3 then, declarations, to record declarations of interest by any member of the council and officers in respect of the agenda items listed below. Members declaring interest should identify the agenda item and type of interest being declared. None. Item 2, item 3B, to note dispensations given to any member of the council and officer in respect of the agenda items listed below.
None received.
Okay. Item 4 then, you've all received the previous minutes and I take it you've read them. Ian?
I believe I should have been officially excused that in advance,
Right.
or is that right?
Duly noted, and
Yeah.
we'll amend the minutes
Thank you.
where appropriate. Ian, thanks very much.
And because we're this anomaly, Mr. Chair, that if there's a meeting of this committee before full council, the minutes go to this meeting to be signed, but because it's remote, you can't physically sign them. So we'll get just to melt and brace everything, we'll get them approved at full council as well, signed with all the other minutes.
So we agree in agreement with the minutes that Matt's produced. Yeah, thank you.
Libby produced the minutes, and we can just revise that version with
David's
Ian on it, so it can go out tomorrow.
Yeah, David's moved them. Have we got a seconder? Yeah, Chloe, there you are. Matt, something to choose from. Chloe, Ian, Alison. Right, all agreed? Yes, yeah, thank you. Delegated responses, you've had the responses of which Matt's been delegated to deal with.
Yes.
You're in agreement with them? Yes, Councillor?
Response B, I'd like added in where it says no impact on the Westwood, or I'd like added in or access to it.
Yeah. Is that possible, Matt? Or
I mean, if it's already gone off, just note
which planning application is that?
It's the racecourse, the second one.
We aren't on to that yet.
Sorry.
Yeah, so therefore you decided, so it's item 5, which is the last page of the pack.
Yeah,
sorry about that.
So we've got we're all in agreement with that, So item 6 then, planning and environment applications. DNS retail, 9 Lady Gates, change of use from office class E to dwelling class 3, and the suggested response by our officer is Beverley Town Council has no objection. Do we agree?
Agreed.
Yeah. Item B then, 3, the grandstand, Beverley Westwood York Road, erection of new stables following the demolition of existing, erection of a stable manager's office, accommodation stroke welfare blocks for the stable staff, and construction of a new vehicular access following relocation of existing cattle grid on York Road. This application is adding a benefit to the race course. As we all know, those stables have been there for donkey's years, pardon the pun. I noticed Chloe's laughing. It is a major upgrade, what is needed, and it's looking after the stable staff course, and it is a benefit to the local business, which generates significant economic to the town. Matt has put the proposals will not adversely impact the surrounding Westwood and pasture land.
Yeah, given what Councillor Horsley said, would he prefer it rather than and? I change and to on the condition that.
Yeah.
So it, which generates significant economic to the town on the condition that the proposals will not adversely impact surrounding Westwood and pasture land.
Yeah.
Or access to it.
Or access to it. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Is that okay? Thank you.
Sounds good.
Right, Minster House 23 Fleming Gate, Beverley West, Beverley, East Yorkshire. Display of 1 internally illuminated fascia sign and 2 non-illuminated fascia signs. I think Matt's looked at it and we don't object. Is that okay? D. Greyburn Garden House, New Begin, Beverley. This is alterations to a tree, and it's a yew tree. Crown lift to 4 meters to maintain clearance from wall and to allow light into garden. And it's the usual, we don't object, but it be carried out when it's least negative effect on wildlife. Okay. And again, 15 Westwood Road, Beverley. Fell 1 number eucalyptus, small tree, unsuitable for the retention in current location, as it is starting to damage the adjacent building and is overhanging property to the south. And we have no objection to, same as before, least negative effect on wildlife. In addition, that say for 1 tree, 2 will be planted. Agreed. That is the stance of Beverley Town Council, and especially this committee, that if there is an application to remove a tree, then it's advised from this council that the applicant replace it by 2. Or if he can't, or they can't, then they give the equivalent to whoever at East Riding to plant 2 trees of their choice in a suitable location. Yeah. Thank you. County Hall, item F, County Hall, Cross Street, Beverley, installation of air source heat pumps to blocks A, F and J, and installation of replacement aluminium windows to block F. And you've seen there that we have no objection, and it welcomes the council's continued work to improve the environmental sustainability of County Hall.
I just need to add East Riding of Yorkshire in that for council.
Yeah. All agreed. Yeah. G. 13 Collington Ave, erection of a single-storey extension to the rear following removal of existing lean-to, and the suggestion there from Matt is that we have no objection. H. Former Grants Bistro, 22 North Barwick Inn, and there's a fairly extensive list there of alterations that they're going to be doing, turn it into apartments, etc., etc. Creation of access from the first floor with stairs. It's going to be converted into 2 self-contained apartments. We have no objection. You're familiar with this bistro. It's on the corner of Engate, North Barwithing. Got you, Ian. It has been stood for a rather lengthy amount of time, and it's nice to see that it's been purchased and something's going to be positively done with this building. I'm sure it'll make a big improvement to that corner and indeed to the area. Ian.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
It's just appalling. It's a shame it closed. It was a nice little place, but it is terrible on the corner of Hengate.
Yeah, it is.
So it'd be nice to see it brightened up.
Yeah.
And it is a very big premises, so there is room for 2 retail units and all these things above.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, Chloe, did you want to say something? No.
No, I'm just echoing what everyone else has said. It's, be good to see it.
Yeah. Okay, are we in agreement with those recommendations? Yeah. 6 Minster, Moorgate, Beverley, erection of a single-storey extension to the rear following the demolition of part external wall, installation, removal and replacement of roof slates with matching slates to main house roof, and window replacing patio doors at the rear. And again, Beverley Town Council reconfirms that it is no objection to this application. Agreed? Yeah. J44 King Square, erection of a single-storey extension to the side, and we have no objection. That agreed? Yeah. And K, lastly, 10 Westwood Way, Beverley, erection of a single-storey extension to the rear and conversion of garage into additional living accommodation and storage with garage door to front. And we have no objection on the condition the extension does not have a negative effect on neighbouring properties. We agreed? Yeah. Thank you. Item 7 then, Unit 2 assets. To receive information regarding Unit 2 and assets stored in that location. Matt.
Yeah, Unit 2 is a unit that we have up Olbeck Road, which we store a lot of items in, including Christmas lights and more. It's in a bit of a messy state at the moment. I was up there today, and there's a lot of space that maybe isn't best utilised. When myself and Libby met with JB Rural last week, we spoke about the idea of in August, when there's no meetings, to spend a day or two there with JB Rural, pulling out what we know we don't need. They'll dispose of it for us. They have the facilities and licenses to take things away, because there's some stuff that we know we don't need anymore. Once we've thinned that out, to then do an asset check of what's there. So we're only doing an asset check of what we know we need to keep, rather than doing an asset of everything when we know some of the things will be instantly thrown away. One of the biggest items that we've got to figure out, because even JB can't take this away, is the big fake Christmas tree that's in 3 pieces, which is no longer up to snuff. We need to get rid of, but as Pete can confirm, having seen it, it's a huge item, and JB don't have the ability to take it away, so we may have to look at extra expense to get a company a bit more specialist with bigger vehicles to come and get rid of that, because it's in 2 of the pieces are very big welded together metal structures.
Yeah.
So once they're gone, that will leave a lot of open space there.
Thank you, Matt. David.
What about asking Dennis if he'd like it for his back garden?
Yeah.
I shall leave Councillor Alison Healy to answer that, hopefully in a polite way.
Okay.
So we'll get on with that. Yeah.
Well, going forward, we agree that members, I've been down there, and it is in a mess with itself, and a good tidy up. We would have plenty of storage space. Okay.
Sounds very sensible.
Yeah. Thank you. 8 maintenance services to consider how best to review the maintenance services brought in by the town council. Matt.
Yeah, we're still using JB Rural, but we did say we'd review it after a year. So it's for this committee to decide how to do that, whether it's worth, for example, myself and the chair, and I would hope Libby, because a lot of the work they do is connected to the allotments, could maybe put together a document saying what the town council actually needs, and then bring that back to this committee for further discussion to look at the best way forward, whether it's splitting the contract between two different companies because we need different sorts of services, or employing someone on a very part-time basis to much smaller jobs and still keep JB doing larger. There's various ways that it could go. I think it needs 2 or 3 heads together to put some proposals to bring forward, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Is that okay then? We go ahead with Matt's suggestion. Yeah. Thank you. You wouldn't like the vice chair to be included as well, would you, Matt?
If the vice chair would like to be included.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Item 9, allotment issue updates. To receive, if any, updates regarding matters pertaining to the allotment. No?
I think the only main update is that Libby's sent out all the rents now, and they're flooding in. It sounds quite minor, but it's a really major task, this, because it's dealing with 250 odd different individuals with their rent. Over the past couple of years, I know Libby's worked to use the RBS system to produce the invoices, etc., which works really well. And it is a lot of logistical work. But if I could ask if the committee would be willing to, I know she's also writing the minutes, but the committee would be willing to officially thank Libby for that work. It's a big lump of work that needs a lot of coordination.
Yes, the
Thank
answer.
It's. I'd just like to say, allotment stuff is a little bit backlogged at the moment. What with one thing and another, but we'll get there in the end. The paperwork, plots are being turned around, but it is quite slow, and it's the paperwork does need catching up a little bit.
Yeah, you aren't all 250 of them odd. Some are, I admit.
Thank you. Libby, through you, Matt, is it possible? I don't know whether we are. Have we got any electronic payments?
No, we didn't. When we went to electronic payments, we get a lot through direct bank transfers. We've got quite a few checks in, and only one in cash so far. So most are doing it through electronic payments straight to the bank, and then sending in their signed forms. But we'll know fully when Libby's open the bulging folder of documents waiting for her, which is in tomorrow.
Great.
It won't be tomorrow.
No. All right, Matt. Thank you very much for your attendance, and we'll see you next week.